This year's Exemplary Business Guvvy Award went to the dwelling place of Grand Rapids.
In the mid to late 70s, this Division Avenue area really kind of hit its low ebb in terms of disinvestment, boarded up buildings, vacant properties.
This area of Grand Rapids has been an area where the missions have been located and the programs that provide meals and housing for those who are homeless.
There wasn't an outlet for artists to live and work in an affordable environment.
Dwelling Place emerged in the late 70s and early 80s to try to acquire some of those properties and work on not only affordable housing but also redevelopment of Division Avenue. Artists have always had some interest in this neighborhood. For more than 20 years I've had artists come to me asking about using some really cool space in one of our buildings because we had the high ceilings or we had the old historic architecture. So what we decided to do after consulting with some groups nationally is to consider the possibility of artists as actually a way to change the neighborhood and change the perception of Division Avenue from one where people thought it was more like Skid Row to one where they thought it was cool and hip and changing, and artists helped to change that perception.
Well, artists changed the image of this street because the artists themselves came down to see what was happening. The artists were attracted to what other artists are doing, and having a number of gallery spaces, we've kind of had a label or a brand put on this area, which is Avenue for the Arts, and the rest of the community is becoming aware of that. We've started to invite many people from throughout the metropolitan area to come, to visit, to attend events. So people are starting to come. There's kind of a buzz about what's happening down here on Division Street.
It smells like magic.
Five, 6 years ago, I got involved with Dwelling Place because I was looking at renting a space and creating a artist loft living experience. Dwelling Place has made that sort of thing happen for us, so where we have space that's large enough to live in and work in, as well as exhibit, show, and develop an arts community. And it's a place where you can go and be a part of something that is starting out, as opposed to moving someplace like New York, LA, Chicago, that are all these places that have been developed for so long, and you are entering it as a small fish in a big pond kind of concept. So it's someplace where you can actually make an impact on the development of a community.
We see hundreds of people come to the neighborhood and come to this area when these events take place that otherwise would not be coming down to this neighborhood. We're hoping that a few people will make some money off of sales tonight, and we're also hoping that, again, public perception continues to change as public awareness increases about the vitality and the viability of this area changes. This whole idea further down Division Avenue in both directions to try to use what have been vacant and empty buildings and support by creating greater mass and greater support for arts. It actually takes on a life of its own.
We'll meet more of this year's recipients in just a moment. But first, we thought you'd like to know more about the Guvvy Award itself.